Good morning. Hi. I am Sunshine, and this is the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes. And today is Saturday. It's my play day, so I'm just going to. I generally scramble my cubes to be able to solve through the week in my walkthroughs, but I also just I'm here to play. And this is I was going through my stuff. This is one of the my earlier attempts to create the formulas. It's a pencil. I'm not sure it's going to do. This is back when I used 3 arrows for the 3x3 instead of just 2. Top, right, top, and I was using the standardized notation. See the top, right, top plus right plus top and right. Actually, I think it's up. Is it up and down instead of top? But this shows that these 3 corners move. Start with the I don't start with the cross anymore. Start with the cross, and then go from the cross to the first layer, and then I went to 4x4, which was also 4. This is before I realized I could just narrow it. I could just simplify it to 2. This shows away, first layer up, back, second layer up. This is how you go to the right. This is how you go to the left. What's this one? This is the same thing as this one. Nope, as this one. Evidently, I started off doing layer by layer. Alrighty. Anyway, a little bit of my history there. How to swap opposite final corners. Before I narrowed it down. Alrighty. Just a scramble, scramble, scramble. If you just joined me, I am Sunshine. Welcome. Today is Saturday. It's just a day to play with my cubes. I am available to answer questions. I also will do tutorials. And I have a kitty cat. At least I have a paw. Hi, kitty kitty. This is maybe my kitty. This isn't my kitty. Are you being shy today, kitty? Are you being... There's you are. There's the kitty. There's the beautiful kitty. Hi. Yes. Yes, you're a pretty kitty. Okay. I'm gonna get back to work. Alrighty. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just scrambles. Hello, kitty. Oh, you're the good kitty. Yes, you are. You're the good kitty. Do you guys have pets? That's a good question. All right. This is all right. One, two, three. All right, quick overview. The ABCube method is 4 moves. Formula A is 4 moves. Formula B is 8 moves. And they are done looking at the front of the cube as if you're looking at columns and rows on a spreadsheet. And the arrow indicates the one slice that you're turning, row or column, and the line represents the rest of the cube. And that way you can translate those two, the symbols, to either cube. Formula A brings a color to the top, and it's usually the bottom row, bottom right column, but you can also do it for absolute centers as well. For example, if I wanted to move this white to the top, I can move it away, down, in, up, like so. Okay, so if I were to bring yellow to the top on these corners, this one's already correct, this one's already correct, this one is not yellow on top, so I look to see if there's a yellow anywhere on this corner. There's not, so I look to see if there's a yellow anywhere on the corner below it. If the answer is yes to either one of those two, then Formula A will bring the yellow to the top. If there's not, you have to rotate the bottom a quarter turn until there is. Now, I want to move this piece up to here, but I don't want to displace these, so I move this piece away, I move the space down, I move the piece into the space, and back up. Then rotate the top until the space is not correct, and there is a yellow on it, so Formula A until it comes to the top, and there we go. Same thing here. This one's correct. This one does not have a yellow. This one does. So Formula A until the yellow comes to the top. Slide the top and keep going. No yellow here or here, so I rotate the bottom until the answer is yes. There we go. Formula A, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. These formulas are for newbies. Obviously, as you get more comfortable with a cube, you can do inverses of it, you can do mirrors of it, yeah, you can do parallels of it. And you can do your own algorithms that you know for specific recognizable patterns. But this is how I teach a brand new person, the newbies. I do the corners, and I get them comfortable with the corners before I move. I get them comfortable with one step before I move on to other steps. So there's a yellow somewhere on top, so all out, down, in, up. Keep going until it is on top. And there it is, it's on top. Slide it out of the way. Keep going. There's no yellow here or here, so I rotate the bottom quarter turn. Still no yellow. Bottom quarter turn. There it is. And now formula A brings it to the top. Yellow's on top on all four corners. Then you look at the side edges. So that was bring the color to the top, that was all formula A. Now we look to see whether the sides are correct. Blue does not equal green, orange does not equal red, green does not equal blue. So none of these are correct. Either all of them will be correct, or none of them will be correct, or one side will be correct. Because of the mathematics of the cube, you can't have two sides be correct and the other two not. That's just the mechanics of the cube. So this one, none of them are correct. This one has one of them correct. It's the orange. So if one of them are correct, I place that color to the back. This one has blue, so it goes to the back. Now, if none of them are correct, then we do formula B and bring A to the top again, and then one of them will be correct. And if it goes to the back. So when one of them is in the back, formula B, move the top first up, top second up, down, down, and this stayed the same. These other moved and twisted, so formula A brings the color back to the top. Out, down, and up. Out, down, and up. Slide. Out, down, and up. Out, down, and up. Slide. Out, down, and up. Out, down, and up. And the yellow is on top, and corners match. This one we didn't have a match, so it doesn't matter which way we hold it, either way is going to be the same. But after we do that, we'll have one side matching. So up, up, down, down, and formula A to bring the color back to the top. Slide the top to protect it. The reason why I'm sliding the top and not rotating the whole cube is because I'm teaching all of the corners the same, and if this way it won't mess up the bottom if you did not want the bottom to mess up. If you don't care, it doesn't matter. But I just teach in a way that you don't have to learn different ways. Okay, so now the corner matches, it goes to the back. Slide up, slide down, and when I bring the color back to the top again, the sides will match. And the first four corners will be all correct to each other. The first four corners are correct to each other, as these are. And now this one. Orange, we're only looking at the corners, we're not looking at the centers or the edges, just the corners. Orange does not equal red, green does not equal orange, blue equals blue. So the blue goes away from us, and we do formula B. Slide up, slide down, and when you apply formula B to the edges, the corners is what it moves. Formula A brings the color back to the top. Slide to protect it, keep going. Slide to the top. Keep going. And now the first four corners are correct to each other. Second four corners is done the exact same way. Put the first four corners down. Determine what the next color is going to be. The opposite color is going to be. On a standardized cube, it's white. On a non-standardized cube, you'd have to look and see. For example, this one does not have orange. Yellow is opposite red on this one. But you just look at what color is on all four corners, and it's white. So we do the white the same way, exact same way we did the yellow, and when we do that, the yellow will still be solved. It's going to look like we're scrambling it, but because formula A and formula B don't mess up anything but what you're working on, the bottom will resolve itself back to the way it was. So white, white, this one the white, not white on top, so I'm going to do formula A until it's on top. Formula A switches these and twists it back and forth. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. Excuse me 1 second, guys. Hello. I am live streaming at the moment.
Oh,
yeah, you want to watch me?
Yeah, I want to do that.
Go to twitch.tv.
Can I just make it a video call?
Nope.
Okay, let me
I can. You guys, I've got my sister on the phone. She's never seen me Twitch before, so I'm telling her how to get here to watch me. So, you go to, on your computer, go to twitch.tv, Twitch .tv /ABCube, as in ABCube, tutor, Tutor. So it's twitch.tv /ABCUBETUTOR. I can spell. I just don't do it all the time. Yeah, I know words.
I did. Really?
Yeah, yeah. So if
I didn't see it reading the side instead, so.
okay.
Okay, got it.
And you should see me. Do you see me?
All right, let me just start. Oh, it's just gonna give me that. Hold on. Okay, I see it now, yeah.
Okay, I'm going. Yeah, you can hear me too. I'm going to hang up then. I'm just going to talk over. I'm just going to keep doing my thing. I'm teaching people. I'm sharing with Rubik's Cubers my method of solving the Rubik's Cube. Most of the people here are already Rubik's Cubers, but I teach people who don't know how to do the cube. Now you are the only person I ever failed at because you were the only person who didn't want to learn.
Well, you did give me the one that I could solve before that is one.
I gave my sister a 1x1 cube. All right.
Yeah, that's good enough for me, guys.
Okay. They can't hear you. They can only hear me. But I'm going to hang up and I'm going to go back to solving my cubes. You can watch me until it bores you, and then you can leave if you want to.
I'll watch you, and if I leave, I'll just say bye to you for I'm here for a while.
Well, you're not going to be able to. You have to. I'm hanging up the phone, so you're just going to have to chat with me if you want to chat. So you can watch me, but I got to get back to what I'm doing.
Go right ahead.
All right. Love you. Bye.
I love you too.
Alrighty. Thank you for pardoning that interruption, you guys. And I have a new viewer now. Ta-da! Okay, she probably doesn't know how to. She's probably not going to create an account until she won't be chatting with me. But, so, I was in the middle of solving the white. Okay, so I brought my white to the top, slide the top to get it out of the way, and then look to see if there's a white here, and if there is, formula B, or formula A. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. And now we look to see one side matches, so it goes to the back. And all right, so formula B, top row, 2 columns, slide up, slide up, slide down, and then formula A. And what we're looking at the front of the cube as if it's a spreadsheet with columns and rows. So formula A uses the bottom row and the right column. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. White comes to the top, slide the top column to get it out of the way, keep it safe. Keep going for this next piece. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. Slide, keep going, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. And now the second 4 are correct to each other. The first 4 have resolved themselves again, and so the 2 by 2 is solved. So the yellow are correct to each other here. We're working on the white. Okay, don't have to worry about any of them, so just pick one. Here's one. Just work with this upper front right corner, and formula A is going to flip this cube until we could do that until the white's on top. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. Okay, slide the top to protect it. Out, down, in, up. It's going to be multiples of 2. The only difference between the second 4 and the first 4 is I don't have to look to see if there's a white there. We've already established that there is. Out, down, and up. There it's on top. Rotate the top to keep it out of the way. Again, we're not moving the cube because we want the yellow, the bottom to stay protected. So again, formula A, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. Slide the top, keep going, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. My sister Univa, my oldest sister, she's the one that I was on the phone with, the one that's watching me now. Let's see. Okay, so red equals red. These other ones don't. Match coloring color goes to the back. Formula B. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Formula A to bring it back to the top. And this I tried to teach her and she had no interest. This is back when I was a teenager, when I was doing the simple solution to Rubik's Cubes. I just bought the book at the store, memorized it. I hadn't created my own method. And I was teaching people, but she had no interest. So I came up with, she enjoyed the serotonin rush of being able to solve it, but she did not want to solve it. And so we came up with a method of solving it together. I would hold the cube, and where I placed my thumb would dictate. So I would have one hand, she'd have one hand, and if I placed my thumb under, before the edge, then she knew it was a turn this way, and if I placed my thumb over the edge, she knew it was a turn this way. So I would either depending on which way, I would hold the thumb and she would make the other turn, and it would look like we were solving it together. And if I held it this way, then it was a 2. And so I would just look at the cube and we would solve it together. And I think she was starting to, because of the repetition, she was starting to get a feel for it. But she had no desire to solve the cube. She just liked to twist it because it was calming to twist in her hand. So it's definitely just a toy for her. She had no interest in the challenge. And then when I came up with this solution, the ABCube solution, I'm like, it's a lot easier now. It's a lot easier. She still had no interest. So I gave her a 1x1 cube and sent her on her way. And everyone's happy. All right, so these 8 corners are correct to each other. So I'm going to move on to these ones. I don't go from beginning to end in my tutorials because I don't like watching the tutorials like that. If I have a specific thing I want to learn, like how to do the edges, I don't want to have to wait through I don't have to find it in the video and then watch it over and over again. So on my tutorial pages, you will see one video for each step. One video for bringing the white to the top, one video for rearranging the corners if needed, one video for solving the edges, etc. Each step has its own video. Alright, so my yellows are correct to each other. They've gone face down. I'm working with the whites now. This one is correct, this one is not. So I'm going to do Formula A until the white's on top, and Formula A is 4 moves. It's the bottom row and the right column. And when you're working with the second 4 corners, you do a period in multiples of 2. So I rotate this cube, these 2 cubes are working. So I move this cube away, I move the space down, I move the cube back and up. So out, down, in, up. Is my white on top? Not yet. Keep going. Out, down, in, up. Out, down, in, up. Is white on top? Yes. I don't turn the cube because I want to protect the bottom. I rotate just the top to find until this piece needs work. And then more Formula A. Out, down, in, up. Out, down, in, up. Out, down, in, up, out, down. Now, theoretically, the 7x7 cube looks more intimidating than the 3x3 cube, but they are all solved with the same 2 formulas and exactly the same way. So when I'm teaching, I teach with multiple size cubes so that the learner does not have time to get intimidated by the larger cube. And so the white is on top. White is on top on all 4 corners, so that step is done. And the next step, of course, is to see if the sides match. And we're looking at only the corners. We're not looking at any of the edges. So red does not equal orange, green does not equal red, blue equals blue. Now at this point in time, either all of the sides will match, or none of the sides will match, or one. You can't ever have 2 sides matching. It's just physically impossible on the cube. So if you have one side matches, it goes to face away from you to the back. If you have no sides matching, doesn't matter which way you start, you're going to do B and then A, and then one side will match, and then that will go to the back, and you'll do it again. So slide up, slide up, slide down, and Formula A to bring it back to the top. Out, down, in, up. When it's on top, slide the top. Keep the cube stable. Out, down, in, up. Out, down, in, up. Slide the top. Keep the cube stable. Out, down, in, up. Out, down, in, up. And now the second 4 corners are correct to each other. First 4 corners are correct to each other still because they've resolved. Now you just rotate the top until the top and bottom corners are correct to each other. And now those 8 corners are correct to each other, just like these 8 corners are correct to each other. So at each step that you go, the smaller cubes drop away because they're done, but each cube is done the exact same way, so you don't have to learn, which is not the way it was when I was learning. When I was learning, when the 4x4 came out, I actually had my dad buy me one, and I got halfway solved, and my 4x4 broke. The internal pieces broke, and I didn't know how to put it together, and I didn't know how to fix it. And so all I could do was just have this unsolved problem in my head for a couple of years until I could get another cube, which is how my brain works. I wouldn't let it go of it. A little story time here. I'm Facebook friends with Jeffrey Verasano, who was the first person to solve the Rubik's Cube. My sister Geneva watched me watch the first Rubik's Cube competition on TV. And at the time, I thought I was pretty good with the cube. I was somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes to solve the cube, which I thought was pretty good. And then we watched the competition, and the first was under 25. So the first world record was, I don't remember the exact number, it was under 25 seconds. And I was so frustrated. I took the cube and I put it down. I didn't pick it up for a month. I'm like, I can't do that. Univa, in case you're interested, the world records for the Rubik's Cube now is under 5 seconds. So if we were impressed back then, we're even more intimidated now. So anyway, Mr. Jeffrey Verasano, when as the teenager, when the 4x4 came out, he was invited. He told me he was invited to the convention, the toy convention where they released the 4x4, and he was allowed to play with the 4x4 while he was there at the convention, and he played with it enough to realize, oh, you can have a parity. There's something that can happen on the 4x4 that's not possible on the 3x3, and what do I do with that? And then then they said, okay, the convention's over, give us our toy back. And so he had an unsolved puzzle in his mind, and what he did is he went home and took some graph paper and some colored pencils, and he resolved the parity on graph paper. And I'm totally impressed with that. So he was able to solve that. And then they came back, the next time he talked to them, driving in the car, and they were talking about how to fix that parity, and they said, yeah, it takes X number of moves to fix the parity, and he said, no, it doesn't, it takes 10. And they said, no, and he said, give me the cube. And so he made 10 moves, and there was the parity. And so he has a YouTube. He doesn't YouTube all the time, but he does have a YouTube channel. If you have not seen his YouTube channel, go check it out. Jeffrey Verasano. I don't know what the YouTube channel is called, but he walks you through, and his brain is magnificent. So anyway, let's see how I'm doing here. If you've just joined us, I am Sunshine, and this is the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes. We've done the corners correct to each other, and now I'm going to do the side edges. I trained my eyes to look for the yellow and the white while I was doing the corners, so I'm going to keep looking for the yellow and white. So I'm pulling the yellow and white left and right, and I find a piece in the center that has, in the center area, anything between the two edge columns. In this case, it would be anywhere in here. In this case, it's only one layer, but I find a white or a yellow. I hold it so that the yellow and white are left and right, and the color's on top. If it's yellow and white are left and right, if it's on front, just flip it. So, white's on top, the front color. I move the corners to match the front color. I determine which direction it's going to go, and then I'm still doing Formula B with the top going in a direction and then reversing itself every other move. And the two columns that I'm using this time are, the first column is where I want the cube to end up. So this cube is white blue is going to go between the white blue. So this is my first column, and where the cube begins is right here. So this is my second column. So I move the cube away, first up, back, second up, away, first down, back, second down, and that cube is placed. And so I look for another white or yellow. Here's one. It's on the front, so I flip it. So my yellow and white are left and right. My yellow's on top. I move the corners to match the front color. I determine which direction it's going, and then I move it away, first up, back, second up, away, down, back, second down, and that corner is placed. Here's a white, it's on front, so I flip the cube, so it's on top. Yellow and white are left and right. Move the corners to match the front color. Determine which direction it's going and begin by moving it away. First up, back, second up, away, down, back, second down. Okay, another yellow on top. Move the corners to match the front color. Determine its direction. Start by moving the cube away. First up is where it's going to land. Back, second up is where it is to begin with. And there, reverse down, and it is placed. Keeping yellow and white left and right, I just keep looking for another yellow or white. Here's a white, white's on top. Bring the corners to match the front color. Determine which direction and start by moving it away. First up, back, second up, reverse, first down, back, second down, and it's placed, and we keep looking. For as long as there's a yellow or white in the middle, we just place it. I don't go looking for, oh, where is this color cube? I just find a piece that's wrong and throw it in its direction and let the cube sort it out. Okay? There's no more yellow or whites in the middle area, so I look to see if the sides are done. The answer is either yes or no. In this case, the answer is no. So this piece isn't incorrect. So I'm going to throw any piece from the middle into that area. So away, up, in, second up, away, down, in, second down, and now it's in the middle where I can work with it. Again, yellow and white are left and right. White's on top. Bring the corners to match the front color. Determine its direction and begin by moving away, up, back, up, away, down, back, down. And again, no more yellow and white, so these ones are done. This one is not. Same thing with this one. And I can do what I did before. I can put a cube into here and then place it the correct way. But the beginning of the next step, I need to displace a yellow cube anyway. So let's go directly to the side edges. I'm going to displace this piece down here. My white is now down for the rest of the solve. I'm going to displace this yellow so I can move these pieces to the top so I can work on them, because Formula B for edges moves this piece, a top piece, to the edge. So up, up, down, down. Keep my white on the bottom. I look for a cube that is not yellow, and which is the green and red. Front color matches the corners. Red is going in this direction, so just like I move this away. This is my first up. Move the top back. This is my second up. Away, down, back, down, and that cube is placed. This cube, we're looking for the not yellow on top. It matches the front. It's going in this direction, so it moves away, first up, back, second up, away, down, back, down, and then we work with another piece. As we place the pieces that are not yellow, the yellow will eventually find its way back to the top. Up, up, down, down. And when it finds its way back to the top, we have to look and see whether everything is correct. And it is not yet. This piece is incorrect and this piece is incorrect. They need to be flipped. So I put the incorrect piece into here. And then bring that piece that I've just displaced to the front and place it correctly. And the other piece fixes itself as well. So there you have it. Do you have any questions? Anyone wants to talk to me? Hi, I'm Sunshine. If you've just joined me, this is the ABCube method for solving the Rubik's Cubes. My corners are correct to each other, first step. And so the next step is to work with the opposite edges. Every size Rubik's Cube can be done using just Formula A and Formula B. You don't have to memorize 100 or so algorithms. You don't have to memorize which one to use in which order, which one does which, because these two do everything. Formula A brings your color to the top. It's specifically used for the absolute center or for the corners. And then Formula B moves 3 pieces around as needed. There will always be 3 pieces to move. We do not deal with parities. We do not deal with parity algorithms, because whenever there are 2 pieces that look like they need to switch, there is always a 3rd piece as well. That 3rd piece is the row, the center row that those pieces are on. So making 1/4 turn will then give you 1 correct and 3 incorrect, and those 3 incorrect can be placed. So we can just undo the parity with 1/4 turn, as opposed to memorizing different algorithms depending on how the parity represents itself, because the parity is always going to be undone by 1/4 turn. So, any questions before I continue? All right. Okay, so yellow and white are left and right. I'm going to work with the yellow and white edges. I look somewhere. I'm not going to look for where is my white and orange pieces and pair them up and then place them, because in my opinion, that's an extra step I don't need, and I don't need to look for them. I just need to find a piece that's wrong and throw it where it belongs, and they will match themselves up. So here is a yellow and red. The yellow's on top, yellow and white are left and right. I move the corners to match the front color. This is the piece that I'm working on. Mark it right there. Corners match the front color. Top color is yellow, so it's going to be going in between the red and yellow, so it's going in this direction. So I start by moving it. Oh, okay. Now the 2 columns I'm going to use for the corners, the columns were the outside ones, but for the edges, the columns I'm going to use, the first column is where it's going to end up, which is this column right here, and the second column is where it begins, which is this column right here. So I start by moving it away, and then first up, move it back, and then this again this is the column. This is my second up. And then away, down, back, down, those 8 moves. This has been placed, and so I look for more yellows. Here's some yellows. Let's look, here's a yellow, but these yellows are on the front, so I have to flip the cube. I'm going to wait till I have to do that. So here is another yellows on top. I'm holding the cube so that yellow and white are left and right, as dictated by the corners. Yellow's on top, bring the corners to match the front color. Front color is orange. Yellow is either going to be this direction or this direction. It's this direction. So the columns will be this column and this column, and I start by moving it away. So I go up, back, up, reverse, down, back, down. You'll notice that whether it's Formula A or Formula B, the horizontal moves are always the reverse of the previous one. Here's a yellow. Move the corners together to match the front color. Determine which direction it's going, which would be to the yellow side, to this side. So this is my first column, this is my second column. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. And this is placed. And here's another yellow or white. These two are together, so I can treat them as one piece. White's on top, bring the corners to match the front color. White is going in this direction, so I move them away, up, back, second up, away, down, back, second down. Look for yellow or white. Here's a yellow. It's on top. Bring the corners together to match the front color. Determine its direction. And then it's just lather, rinse, repeat. Just more of the same. Just keep doing this over and over and over and over and over and over again. But it's still it's just formula B. You yellow and white are left and right. Match the corners to the front and throw it in its direction. For as long as there are yellow and white pieces anywhere in the middle. When there are not, then you look to see if the sides are complete, and either they will be complete or you will have pieces misplaced, in which case you just throw a random piece into the incorrect pieces where the incorrect piece is, which will bring that to the center, and you can work with it again. Yellow's on top, yellow and white are left and right. Match the front corners. Match the corners to the front color. Determine its direction and begin by moving away. So columns will be where it's going to land and where it begins. So away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Okay, here's another yellow. This is not geared for speed. It's geared for simplicity of learning. Yellow's on top. Move the corners to match the front color. And it's literally formula B for the rest of the entire cube. Up, up, down, down. Okay, here's a white. Move the corner, yellow and white are left and right because we're working with yellow and white. Bring the corners to match the front color. Determine its direction and begin by moving it away. First up, back. Second up, away. Down, back, second down. Here's a yellow. Bring the corners to match the front color. Determine its direction and begin by moving it away. Up, up, down, down. Here's a white. Bring the corners to match the front color. Determine it's going in this direction, so we begin by moving it away. Up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Okay, now I have to flip the cube. Yellow and white are still left and right. Start with this one. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Here is a blue, white, white. Bring the corners to match the front color. It's going in this direction. So away, first up, back, second up, away, down, back, second down. Here is another white. Bring the corners to match the front color. Determine its direction and begin by moving it away. Up, back, up, down, back, down. Another piece, and then we just keep doing this for as long as there is a yellow or white in the center area, in the middle area. We keep placing it. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Why not? Okay, here's another white. Bring the corners to match the front corners to match the front color. Determine its direction. And I'm going to, if you look over here where it's going to land, there are several things that are incorrect. There's only one piece that's correct. And so if you want to, you can move the yellow and white pieces out by throwing garbage pieces in as you're placing. So this one, you can displace that one and displace this one as well. And then reverse down, back, down. That moves them to the middle where they can be placed more easily. You can do that ahead of time, like we just did, or you can wait until, just do them one at a time. But so if you can do if you can kill two birds with one stone, then that improves your speed. Okay, so white's on top, yellow and white are left and right. Bring the corners to match the front color. There's some pieces here that can be displaced as well. So let's put garbage pieces here, pieces that don't have yellow or white. So it's going in this direction, away, up, in, up, and looking at things. This one wants to be displaced as well. This one wants to be displaced as well. It's a more advanced step, and down. So I should have done that one as well. Sorry. Okay, and we just keep doing this. All right. These pieces can all be used to displace. So this piece is going to go in this direction. This piece needs to be displaced as well. So away, up, in, up. Displace that one also. Away, down, back, down. Here is another one. There's nothing more that needs to be displaced, so we'll just place this one, not worry about it. Up, up, down, down. Find another yellow or white. Yellow and white are left and right. Match the front corners to the front color. Determine its direction and move it away. Up, in, up, away, down, in, down. And it is placed. There's another yellow. Bring the corners to match the front color, and just allow the rinse repeat, more of the same. Yellow and white are left and right. The corners match the front color. It's going in this direction, so we move it away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. That is placed correctly. Looking for more yellow or white. Okay, we're going to have to flip the cube. White's on top. Yellow and white are left and right as determined by the color corners. White's on top. Bring the corners to match the front color. Determine its direction. Away, up, in, up. We can displace this one at the same time. Reverse down, back, down. Okay. Yellow and white are left and right. There's a green. Match the front corners. I'm going to, because this will take forever, I'm going to move on to doing how to do the edges, the centers now. When you use Formula B on the outside columns, it moves corners. When you use it on the outside and an inner, it moves edges. When you use it on two inner columns, it moves centers. For example, here's a red. It's not where it wants to be. It's on the front, so I place the cube so that its color is on top. I bet ABCube method doesn't work on pyraminx or the megaminx, though. That is correct. It will work on every n by n by n cube, and it will work on some of the cubes that are banded, like this Whittington 3x3x9 with this minor adaptation. But it does not do, it works on some of them. I have one right here. It does not work on the top layer and the bottom layer, but everything else can be done. I knew it already, but everything else can be done. At the top, the first row I do just intuitively, and then everything else I can solve with my A and B until I get to the top layer, and then the top layer, the top edges. There's two algorithms I need to use for the top edges, but then the top corners I can use my Formula B. So the only it does not do the top, the bottom and the top. Does not do the for the top edges. There's two algorithms I have to use. One of them is the front right up front, and the other is the RU. And it almost does the full, is this the megaminx? It almost does the full megaminx. Again, I only need to have, I just use two algorithms for the last layer of edges, and then all the rest of it, the first layer I do intuitively, the last layer I need two algorithms, and then everything else it'll do. Yes, wow. So yeah, I'm happy with that. But the last layer, the two algorithms that I need to use are the front right up front, like so. That one, the one to get the corners positioned. Front right up front, front right up front, front right up. Eventually it'll go back to beginning. Front right up front, front right up front. There we go. So that one, and is the other one. The other one is the RU. How many years did it take me to develop this method? I've been teaching since the 80s because as a teenager, but I did not have this. I used the method that I just bought a book and memorized it, and then taught my friends and their friends and their friends. But as far as to develop this method, it took me a good 5 years to get it into a physical format. These are some of my earlier attempts. Pencil on paper, printed from the library. Printed from the library. It took me 5 years. Once I got it in the fixed format, it was for the 3x3, but then also the 4x4, the 5x5. So I started using the 3x3 to teach and then go on. What I found is that when I did that, the people I was teaching had a mental block that they could not, it's like, no, it's okay. I just wanted to learn the original. The 4x4, that looks so much harder. Well, it's not. This is no harder than this one. It's just more of the same, and you can do it with just the A and the B. And so I started, when I teach, I would use the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5. and I'd have them learn the corners, and then I'd say, okay, you did well with that one. All right, you gotta go. Okay, thank you for talking to me. It took me, so a total of 10 years. Oh, it's 8:30. Well, go have a wonderful night. Where are you? Where are you in the world? This is awesome. I love living in the future. Thank you for taking time to talk to me. Thank you for following me. And I will be back here weekday mornings, and I'm here Friday evenings and Saturday mornings. So go sleep well, peaceful dreams. Thank you for talking to me. So, edges, centers. It's on front. It's going to the top layer. First move is to line up something that's advantageous to come down. I don't want to bring the blue down, so I'm going to rotate it so this matches up with the green. And thank you. And so so that was my first arrow. My first blue arrow is to line up the top. Then we move up. I have to rotate the top so that this ends up in a different column. And this is the same column, so that doesn't work. So it has to go this direction. The diagonals, the cube dictates what direction it has to go. The obliques, it doesn't matter. So go back again. So I lined it up. I go up, different column, second up, reverse, and the corners keep me honest here. The edges keep me honest. So that's why I do the corners and edges first, and that is placed. Here is a green that wants to come. Okay. Pick a cube that's wrong on the front, make it, it's going to go to the top, so make the top color where it wants to be. My choices here are a white or an orange. I don't want to bring the orange down, so it's already lined up. So I go up, second column, second up, reverse, down, set the top, and keep going. Here's a white. So I move the white to the top. I can bring down any one of the yellow is more advantageous. So I've lined it up to this yellow. I go up, slide it to a different column, second up, reverse, down, set the top and keep going. Here's a red. There's a white, line it up so that those two are going to change. Up, slide, second up, reverse, down. And again, the diagonals have to go a specific way because you don't want to line up. You have to be using two columns. The obliques, it doesn't matter. And with that is a pretty fair overview of the ABCube method. What I'm going to do now is we're going to scramble a bunch of cubes so that I can solve them during the week. Thank you for joining me. If you have any newbies who anybody wants to know, just know the secret. They're like, I don't want to have to learn. I know you spent months and months and years learning how to do this, and I don't want to do that. I just want you to tell me the secret. This is the secret. Like I said, it took me 5 years to get it down into written format. And I would just say, every time I thought I had it right, I'd find someone who couldn't do the cube and say, here's a cube, here's my book, tell me what's confusing. And then I would rewrite it after they got their input. Once I got the 5x5, I started looking, once I got it written after that first 5 years, I started looking for an agent, and everyone's like, who are you that you would be an expert that people would want to buy your book? And I'm like, well, nobody yet. So I rewrote the book from a 5x5 perspective, the manuscript. It's not a book till it's published. I rewrote the manuscript from a 5x5 perspective as a beginner's method for the 5x5 and everything else, because after the 5x5 there's no new types of pieces to work with, and it was just more of the same. And what I found was that by teaching with the 2, 3, 4, and 5 at the same time, it still took me about an hour and a half to teach, but then people could they could leave with any cube, confident and competent that they could solve it. And so, all told, that's the very long way of saying it took me 10 years. Took me 10 years to develop this in the way that it is now. And I'm very proud of myself. That's a scramble. That's a scramble. 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 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, I will be back weekday mornings to solve the scrambles, and I also tutor one-on-one by appointment, and I'm working on getting I'm working on incorporating my Zoom into this so I can be teaching 3 to 4 people at a time, 3 or 4 newbies at a time. So fun things are in the mix. Stay with me. It's gonna be great. In the meantime, everyone have a good day, unless you're in India, in which case have a good night. Thank you guys. I will be back on Monday. Bye.